Hi, thanks a lot for the introduction, Vikram, and thanks a lot for having me here. It's quite overwhelming to be in Chennai and with all of you. It's a pleasant change from Delhi, which is really cold and damp right now. Yes, I'll talk about why I am here. I'm here because I started a company. It's not starting. India Financial Services Private Limited. I co-founded this company in September of 2007. What we are essentially doing is that we are taking formal financial services. So India right now is just about 30% banked, and so we have a huge population which is still unbanked. And our idea is to take banking to the last mile, and what best than taking it right at the doorstep and using the next door grocer. So just commoditizing financial services. So what we have done is that we have 250 stores right now in Delhi and about 100 stores in 4 districts of Bihar and 1 district of Jharkhand. You could walk into these stores, and just as you get yourself a SIM card, for a SIM card all you have to do is give a photograph, give your proof of address, proof of ID, and get yourself a SIM card. All you have to do at any of these 350 stores is just walk in, give yourself a photograph, a proof of address, proof of ID, and the shopkeeper will help you fill up the State Bank of India's account opening form, and you get a bank account right in about 15-20 minutes. All you have to have is a cell phone. Now, when we talk about cell phone or mobile banking, it's very different. It's any cell phone. And everybody knows what's a missed call. There's no confusion. So there's absolutely no application on the SIM card or the cell phone, and anybody, what they have to do a transaction is to do a missed call. So when you write a check, there are 3 sets of information which you give. One is the name, the amount, and you sign it. What we have done, and that's where we have innovated, is that you dial a string of numbers which has the mobile number of the person whom you wish to transact with, the amount, and a 10-digit signature. I don't know how many of you have noticed that there are RSA devices which you press buttons and they generate one-time passwords. So those are expensive devices, and we were catering to really low-income people, so we had to come up with an answer. And today, what we have is that we have kind of invented a paper version of it. So it is something which takes 5 rupees to print, and you can do transactions. I'll play a video which will explain this a lot better. And one more point which I want to make is that when we say across the counter transactions today in India, only about 500,000 retail outlets accept plastic or credit cards or debit cards, but everybody in India today has a cell phone. So ECHO works on the premise that everybody has a cell phone. If every shopkeeper has a cell phone, everybody else has a cell phone, then you should be able to make payments, and it shouldn't be complicated. We'll just run the video.
This is the story of a migrant from Bihar. Couple, like thousands of others, does not have access to formal banking and has access to the informal ways of saving and wealth accumulation.
There's a problem.
There's a problem.
The
chemist helps him fill the bank's account opening form.
Okay, just lower the volume.
All transactions
So this is one of our outlets in Delhi. Just lower the volume. Let me just talk about this.
And SMS.
So you will notice that there is absolutely no composition of SMS in this. It's all about dialing of numbers, because we realize that people understand the 3x4 keypad, they understand the green button, the red button, and they know how to dial numbers. We noticed that people used to carry diaries with numbers, but they were not able to store numbers on the cell phone. And what this shows is just how simply sitting
So
here.
he promptly rings
The
up
guy in
Pappu,
Delhi is able to transfer money
who
to his
promises to
brother in
send him the
Bihar,
money
who's able to
immediately.
go and purchase
Pappu
fertilizers
transfers
and
the
stuff
money
like
to
that.
his brother's
So
account,
this service is already
again
live.
by
It's,
simply
it was a
dialing.
solution where we did not produce any hardware. It was all about simple ideas, simple principles. It was more like going back to the DOS days, in the days of Windows. And yeah, that's what we did. So we'll go back to the presentation. So, the brief which was given to me is that I must try and talk about my experience as an entrepreneur, what inspired me and stuff like that. So there are 3 lessons. So I'm just trying to reconnect the dots,
Hello.
and
Yeah.
I thought that there were 3 lessons or 3 things which I did right, and I'll just talk about those 3 lessons or 3 things which I perseverately did right, and I'll just share those moments and experiences with you. So one is that you must start early, and the rule is that you must start early. If you look at Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook or Bill Gates, they're all dropouts. So if you're already in your final year, the hint's for you. The reason for starting early is that you still are very pure in your heart. You do things by your intuition. You listen to your heart, and you still are not in a position to comprehend what is to jump without a life jacket. So I started my entrepreneurial journey started after 2 years working for Satyam Computers, which is now Mahindra Satyam. Not famous for a lot of nice things, but so I was already late. I started at the age of 25, and the advantages of starting early is that age is on your side. There's no family baggage. All the money, all the salary which I got, I had to spend only on myself. I never had to send money back home. I was not married then. I did not have kids. And there is a certain agility in when you are young, there's certain agility and purity of thinking. And you're not constrained by a lot of parameters. Your thoughts are absolutely pure. And those are the reasons why you should really start early. The next thing which I did for myself was that I set material targets for myself. And, I had a chance meeting with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam at the New Delhi airport, and he said, we sat for about half an hour, but the point which he left me with was that earning money is not a sin. And again, as I told you, connecting dots, I'll share why earning money is not a sin. So when we are all in college, there's this whole thought of getting campus recruitment, getting a certain salary, and I'm not, maybe you guys are getting offers of 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs and stuff like that. How many of you really think of disrupting that whole thought process and say, okay, I'm not going to chase this 5 lakh rupee a month, let me try and chase something else. Can I chase, say, 50 lakh rupees a month? Can I chase 1 crore rupee a month? You completely disrupt your thinking and you set targets for yourself. So let me not run for getting myself, a nice car or a nice house, but let me run to get myself, say, a private jet, an island, a Varandachi bike, okay? Or how do you really disrupt yourself? How do you really disrupt your thinking? I think that's what I did for myself, is that I was, at that point in time, I was earning just about 10,000 rupees. That was my take home. I started my first company with just about 30,000 rupees. But there was a lot of hunger, and there was a lot of hunger, and there was this whole stuff that, okay, how can this 10,000 become 100,000 or maybe more? How can you earn that much amount of money in, say, 1 month and not, say, 10,000 rupees? So I'm just leaving you with this message that really try and disrupt your thinking. One very nice quote I got, which I must read it out to you, is that biggest pleasures in life come after extreme pain, and those pains are worth going through. So I just hope that you guys take it in the right perspective. The last messaging which I want to leave you with is perseverance and focus, and this is where I'll try and spend most of my time. All of you have heard about Steve Jobs. He was thrown out of Apple. He went back to Apple. What worked for him was perseverance and nothing else. So in my entrepreneurial journey, when I started this, I faced with a lot of roadblocks. So my first company, which is still there, we ended up doing, $2 million of revenue in about 4 years, 70 people company. We sold in about a dozen countries and stuff like that. But there were just lots and lots of failures. And it was not that you faced one failure and the second failure and then there was success. It was just string of failures. The failures would just continue and it would just bog you down. And what kind of failures? Well, I faced with a situation where, I was completely dependent on my wife's salary. So for the almost 1.5, 2 years of starting my first company, I was completely on her money. I ended up finishing her money and then I was dependent on my father-in-law. He ended up paying for my rent. I used to use his car. Yeah, please don't laugh it off. While we all understand the dynamics, the social dynamics behind it, all I want to say is that I was prepared to increase my stakes, and all of this starts to look very small if you have a very clear vision of what you want to achieve. Okay. The other thing is that I had to quit my company. The company which I started, I had to quit. It was a public loss. It was a lot of humiliation. It was, really ego thrashing for me and stuff like that. So, but all of that was a very, very good thing to happen. There's this, Thomas Edison has a famous quote. I think he tries to imply that he learned 10,000 ways not to invent a certain thing. So in my case also, it was all about exhausting your false alarms. So don't try and drink your own Kool-Aid. Others have also said this. Don't try and all what I tried to do was really exhaust my options. So if I was running with a certain set of assumptions and it was not working out, I was mentally prepared to unsettle myself, make myself vulnerable, throw off my assumptions, adopt new set of assumptions, and run again. And all I can say is that in the hindsight, it all turns out good. In the hindsight, it all turns out good because I ended up earning in 8 figures when I exited that company while I was not even 30. And that gave me enough money to start Echo. All I can say is that even if in the worst case scenario, unfortunately, you have to end up in a job, I was given offers. So when I used to get about 10, 12 lakh rupees per annum, I was offered a job of almost like 40 lakh rupees an annum. So all I'm trying to kind of justify to you guys is that entrepreneurship is indeed the right option you guys should go for, because even the bad or even the worst case is a really good case for you. So a lot of people have said this. Kind of may sound cliched, but the time is right. We are in the right country, the right time, right place, and all of that. Even if you decide and to improve people's lives. So in Echo, we decided to improve people's life. Just improving the quality of life is a huge opportunity in itself. And because there's still hundreds of millions of people in India, so we thought that we'll improve the quality of life by extending financial services, formal financial services, at really, really low cost, absolutely lower the barrier of usage and adoption. And because the opportunity is so huge, about 300, 400 million people need to be banked in India, we believe that, that a large opportunity and the right solution can create large value and wealth creation. One incident which I want to just share with you is that when I walked away with my 8-digit check when I exited my previous company, the value of wealth creation is such that not only was I able to improve my lifestyle, I was able to improve the lifestyle of my ecosystem. What's my ecosystem right now? My ecosystem is my domestic help, my driver, my family. I'm able to pay my driver a lot more than what others pay. I'm able to pay my domestic help a lot more than what others pay. I'm able to, when I travel by air, when I travel first class, when I stay in 5-star hotels, they all stay with me. There's absolutely no discrimination. And why do I think like that? I would have never been able to think like that had my wallet had very, very small amounts of money. Because my wallet has large sum, that's the reason it helps me to think like that.